Okay, here is the color transparency tutorial. So this is a before. We want to try to figure out how to make this data look a little bit more interesting. So we're going to focus in on the first two bullet points, 38,000 students, 90% of students passed reading. So here's an example of the after. So first of all, 38,000 students, and then it transitions into 90% of students passed reading. Okay, I'm going to exit out so we can start this tutorial. So the first thing I do is I have a slide, and all I did was create a whole bunch of numbers, as you can see here, and made them larger and smaller. And it really works well if you use kind of a thicker font. Obviously, this one is a DIN type of font. I'll come over here, DIN condensed. You can see. And then I just lowered the opacity on some of them. So this 9 is 75%, this 8 is 82%. I even came over and switched a number and kind of rotated it. So I click it on 4 here. If I go to text and arrange, you can see rotate over here. If I put it over at 0, it's back up there. I'm going to undo, and you can see it's at 270 right there. So it's really up to you creatively how you want to move and put the numbers around, but the goal is to obviously put the numbers in there of the data that you're going to be putting in. The next simple thing is you just duplicate the slide. So now I have the second slide, and now I've already typed in the information. I'm just going to bring it down over here. So the first one is 38,000 students in district, and it's grouped together. And now I'm going to go to my 3 and my 8. So I'm going to click on the 3 and just change the color to a yellow, a bright yellow. And then I'm going to click on the 8 and change it to a yellow as well. And this one the opacity is lowered. So I'm going to go back to style and actually raise it up to 100%. And that's it. And then I'm going to duplicate the slide again. And at this point, I'm just going to take these 3 and the 8, and I'm going to go to my text and change the color to white, because that's not the data we're going to use anymore. We're going to focus in on 90. So that's good to go there. And if I want, I can bring back the opacity down a little bit on this one, like I had before. And then what I'm going to do is delete the 38,000, and I'm going to bring in this 90%, which I already created before, and maybe move it in another area. And then same concept, click on the 9 and the 0, go to text, change the color to a bright yellow, go to style, and bring up the opacity to 100%. And that's really basically it. Then I'll do a quick way to transition all of them. I'll click on the first slide and then hold shift and click on the bottom slide. And so now all these slides are selected, these last 3 slides. I'll go to animate, add an effect. I'm going to use dissolve. I'll make it go a little bit longer to 2.25 seconds, and I'll go back to the first slide and press play, and you'll see the 38,000 transitions into now the 90% of students. So a really simple, easy tutorial, and really showcasing data in a different way. So there you go.